If you or a loved one have felt personally victimized by this eclipse season, you may be entitled to financial compensation. I don't know where the financial compensation is going to come from because I'm right there with you, friends, but that's honestly how this eclipse season has felt. It has been really rough, and we're going to check in with the energy here. We're going to gear ourselves up for the new moon solar eclipse coming up on September 21st because what the heck has been going on these past couple weeks ever since that blood moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. I tried to warn you. If you're new here, my name is Natasha, also known as Nurse Natasha. I put out full free yoga classes and tarot readings for every new moon and full moon, and we're right in the middle of eclipse season, and it has been a doozy. I am so sorry if you are going through it just like I am, and when I say going through it, I mean going through it. We're talking friend breakups, we're talking chaos, we're talking everything's made up and the points don't matter, and I know it's happening for so many people in my life as well. Like, everyone is going through it, and that is the nature of eclipse season, my friends. And the world is going through it. We're all kind of going through it. Hopefully we should have some relief with this new moon solar eclipse in Virgo coming up on September 21st, but even then it's still, I don't want to, I don't like to fearmonger any kind of astrology, but this has been a bad one. I'm just gonna say it. This has been a bad one. And if you're right there with me, if you need to vent in the comments, I'd love to hear it. Everything is at the time of I'm filming this, everything is still in chaos. And this point between eclipses is this purgatory, right? It's this limbo of like everything, and I don't like the term shifting timelines. That feels a little bit too new age spirituality for me. However, that's really what it has felt like, is this massive timeline shift. But yeah, this is a collective reading for all of us going through it this eclipse season. If you made it here to this video, congratulations, you're part of the collective. We're gonna talk about the astrology, and then we're gonna do a little reading to tap in to see what's going on. We have our new moon solar eclipse in Virgo coming up on September 21st. This is closing this eclipse portal. So we've been in this eclipse portal since September 7th when we had our blood moon lunar eclipse in Pisces. Technically, we've actually been in it since our last new moon in Virgo, which I believe was August 23rd. That's kind of the start, because that opened the moon cycle that our blood moon was in, and this is our second new moon in Virgo, which is already also a really rare thing. We're in this just chaos portal gateway of like kind of rare astrology, really weird things happening, and we're gonna do our best to talk about it, and I'm gonna tell you what I know just about the astrology. But again, it's chaos. Eclipse season is chaos. Things could change like on a dime, like really weird random stuff is happening. You might feel like your kind of whole life is being upheaved. Really major endings, really major new beginnings, fated events, destiny change, tower moments. I'm not going to be surprised if we pull the tower today. I'm kind of expecting it, but we might hopefully have some relief with this new moon in Virgo coming up, because this is the closing of the portal. So I was watching this astrologer talk about how it's only been like 2 or 3 weeks since August 23rd. We're just barely now coming up on a month, and so much has happened. You were probably not the same person you were on August 23rd. I'm certainly not. That's how much my life has kind of changed and what I'm still kind of going through. But you know what? There's also really great things happening that are really random and unexpected, but also really terrible things happening that are random and unexpected. So, again, it's all over the place, but hang in there. We're kind of almost done. Another reason why this is feeling so intense is because we also just had Saturn retrograde back into Pisces. We had that Pisces blood moon eclipse that really kind of shook things up. And then again, we have this, you've probably heard people call this either a blue moon or a black moon in Virgo, because this is our second new moon in a row in Virgo, which is again pretty rare, with a solar eclipse. And this is kind of like a supercharged new moon. And new moons are about manifesting. Yes, you've probably heard people be like, don't manifest during eclipse seasons. I, again, personally wouldn't. You can do kind of passive manifestation and make petitions to your deities and your spirit guides, and you can do some spell work and some maybe protection spells, but I wouldn't be doing manifesting right now, because the universe could take it and run with it in eclipse season, unless you like a lot of chaos. Godspeed. But this new moon solar eclipse in Virgo, maybe if you feel comfortable manifesting, this would be a good time to kind of manifest, or really just kind of step in, not necessarily manifest, but step into your new life, because this eclipse portal has cleared out the old life. So this new moon in Virgo is about stepping into the new life. An astrologer I follow posted this really great kind of ritual where on one side of the paper you write down what you're leaving behind, like the things that you are leaving in the past, and then the other side of the paper you write down what you're stepping into, because again, we're in that timeline shift from like this old life to the new life. And then you write those things down, and then you either shred it or you burn it, because like we're getting rid of that old life and all those things that maybe have held you back in the past. And I know even if things seem really not good right now, you know, whatever you're going through with this eclipse season, just know we haven't really seen the end of it yet, until hopefully this new moon in Virgo kind of closes out this portal, and then we can start kind of moving forward again. So again, it's in Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. It's a, you know, grounding sign, very practical sign. Virgo in the tarot is ruled by the Hermit, which is a card of like hermitifying yourself, going inward, soul searching, meditation, taking time alone, hibernation. Again, this is the eclipse gateway. This new moon solar eclipse in Virgo is closing it. I'm just reading through all my notes because I have a lot to say. This is at 29 degrees, which is the last degrees of any sign. This is 29 degrees Virgo, which is also why this feels super huge. Again, this is like a massive, massive ending and beginning. This also falls on Mabon, which is our autumn equinox. And Mabon is a celebration, a festival that happens between the 20th and the 22nd. This year, scientifically, because it's on the day that is where the day and night are equal, it falls on the 22nd. Usually it's celebrated on the 21st, but that's our new moon in Virgo is on the 21st. Mabon's kind of like the whole weekend, and this is our celebration of the harvest. This is our celebration of light and death. You know, it's a celebration of gratitude. But yeah, so this is all kind of happening this weekend. This is gonna feel, I think, like a really big shift, big closing and opening. Yeah, let's just get into the tarot, because I'm like, can we please have some help? We already have the Fool at the bottom of the deck. This is my horror tarot deck, by the way, so it is very spooky. You know, 'tis the season. I live in Salem, Massachusetts, and it's already crazy here. So if you're coming to Salem this spooky season, you see me walking around, say hi. But we have the Fool, and the Fool is the start of the tarot. It's card 0. It is the beginning of the tarot. It is the beginning of the journey. If you think of the tarot like the hero's journey, this is the hero, basically. The Fool is fresh starts and new beginnings. It's taking a leap of faith. It's starting fresh, starting new, starting whatever new thing you're starting. And that's what I feel like this new moon in Virgo is really going to feel like, is that new life. So what else do we need to know for this new moon in Virgo coming up? King of Swords. Definitely being asked to think with the head over the heart right now. You know, it's about, and that's kind of Virgo energy too, is like being logical, having mental clarity, using your intellect, because, you know, the heart can, sometimes, yes, we should obviously follow our heart, but sometimes the heart can get us, you know, kind of confused, especially if we have all this stuff happening with eclipse season. Like maybe taking the time to kind of like pause before you react. You know, you get a little think on, you know, think about, okay, what do I want to do with, you know, there's chaos and we're in limbo and there's all this stuff happening. I wouldn't really make any decisions just yet. I would really look at it with a clear mind. And maybe that's the thing too, is we need to wait until eclipse season is over to have that clarity, because the eclipse season is going to feel like a fog. You're probably having some really weird dreams right now. The migraines have been migraining. I had like one of the world's worst migraines. Everything feels just not real. That's how it is during the eclipse portal. So if you're feeling that way, you're not alone, but maybe we just need to wait until we have some mental clarity. And it's interesting that the King of Swords on this deck is kind of like a knight looking guy, and the message that I've really been getting this whole time from just my guides and things is like, hold. Like, you know, like in the battle scenes and like movies and books and stuff, when they're like holding before they shoot their arrows, is like, hold. Like that's what I'm getting right now, is like holding until we get the kind of green light to, you know, step into that new life and start kind of moving forward. We need that clarity first. Of course, Judgment's on the bottom of the deck. Why wouldn't it be? Ace of Swords, like, we need that clarity first. We need that new, like, mental perspective. The Ace of Swords, again, is our mind, our intellect, and the Ace is the start of something new, a new way of thinking, new neural pathways. Like, we need that so we can move forward. So if you're not feeling mentally clear yet, if you're not feeling like you know the way forward, just, you know, take your time. Ten of Swords, because we're dead. We've been through it. This is how we're feeling after this eclipse season. It's how I'm feeling. Ten of Swords is betrayal. 10 swords in your back, like being just completely over and done and exhausted and burnt out and just hurt and bad. It's not good. But if we're feeling like that, how can we make a decision? If we're feeling like that, how can we move forward, right? Like, but there will be forward movement. The Chariot, card of Cancer. I think we're gonna know when it's time to move forward, and the Chariot is rapid forward movement. I mean, it's literally like the Nosferatu chariot here, or carriage, horse and carriage. But it's like, you're gonna know, I think, when it's time. That's right under the King of Swords. Like, you're gonna know when it's the right moment to, okay, I know what I want, I have clarity, and I might still be feeling kind of weird, but I know that I know what I want. I know that I have that mental clarity to finally take charge, right? The Chariot is kind of like, you know, saying like, hold. The Chariot is like, okay, now, like, fire your arrows. You know, like in Pirates of the Caribbean when they're like, you know, holding the first one and then they all say fire at the same time. And, you know, that, look, we will always make a Pirates of the Caribbean reference. You know what I mean? Knight of Pentacles. But that's the thing. Slow and steady wins the race. Like, we can't just, we don't want to be the tortoise and the hare, right? Because the hare just like runs forward, and that's kind of why we're pausing and just, you know, letting the eclipse kind of process. Again, Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. He's on a mission, but he's like, I'm doing this the right way. I'm doing this slowly, so I have all my ducks in a row, and I know, you know, what I want and where I'm trying to get, and it doesn't have to be super fast. Seven of Wands on the defensive, and it really looks like Gollum kind of in this deck, but the Seven of Wands comes after the Six of Wands, and the Six of Wands is a victory, and the Seven of Wands is you're defending your victory, you're defending your place at the top of the mountain. If you know, like, stick to your guns is what I'm hearing. Like, if you know that, like, you had your victory, you know, like, it's like kind of not necessarily confidence, but it's just like, no, I'm standing my ground. I'm holding my boundaries. I'm fighting back. I'm not going to let anyone take this victory from me or like push me off the top of the mountain that I worked really hard for, you know? Like, we gotta defend our place at the top of the mountain and defend our victories. All right, we're going to clarify with another deck here. This is the Tarot Obscura. This is a deck that I have never been able to find again. The Horror Tarot you can find online, but this deck I have a lot of people ask about, and I found it at a really random store in Joshua Tree, and I haven't been able to find it anywhere since. But it is called the Tarot Obscura, so maybe you'll be able to find it online somewhere. But it's a nice little, it's like a very, to me, it's a very grounding deck. So it kind of has that like Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus energy, and it's a bunch of skeletons. So what else do we need to know? Can we clarify anything? Help us during this eclipse, please. What do we do? King of Cups. And you know what I just realized? I thought that was Judgment at the bottom of the other deck, but it is actually also the King of Cups. They look very similar in this deck. We have the King of Cups at the bottom of both decks. King of Water, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio energy. He is emotional stability, emotional maturity. You can kind of see he's sitting in his throne on very kind of stormy waters, and the waters around him might be, you know, like stormy and there's waves, but he's chilling. Like, really try to tap into that just emotional stability, emotional maturity. The eclipse season has people acting crazy and just, again, all these crazy things happening around us, and we can just be like, okay, like, know yourself. Know, obviously, it's okay to get upset. It's okay to cry. Look, I've been crashing out for like 3 weeks straight. But try to take care of yourself emotionally. Try to express your emotions in a healthy way. Again, maybe taking the time to actually figure out like how you're feeling before you kind of react in a really emotional way, Emotional stability, emotional maturity. What else do we need to know? Five of Wands, yeah, that's just eclipse season for you. Fighting, arguing, everybody has their wands out and is like, rah, like there is chaos. It's chaos reigns. I'm not surprised by that. There's the Fool again. But hey, after the chaos, we're kind of stepping happily off a cliff into a new beginning. I'll take it. Taking that leap of faith, maybe again walking away from, he's kind of walking away from the Five of Wands, walking away from that chaos. Not my circus, not my monkeys, Page of Cups. Trusting your intuition, could be a new kind of love offer coming in. Very Pisces energy. It's a very, I don't know, it's kind of like the Page of Cups, like pages are kind of like silly little guys. They're like the youngest of the court cards. And the Page of Cups is the Page of Water. And it's like kind of fun, flirty, but also very like going with the flow, very Pisces, very intuitive, Maybe we need to trust our intuition at this time. Queen of Wands. Be bold, be assertive, follow your joy. She has a sunflower in her hand, and sunflowers in the tarot are just about kind of joy and happiness and warmth and abundance. And it's like the Queen of Wands, she kind of stands alone from the other Wands court cards. She usually has a black cat and a sunflower on her card, whereas all the other Wands court cards have salamanders. She's not afraid to do what she wants. She's not afraid to be assertive. She's not afraid to be passionate and creative and walk into a room and kind of demand attention. She's a Queen of Fire, right? Maybe we also need to embody that right now. Eight of Swords. If we're feeling stuck, unfortunately, it's in our own brain. And that does not to negate like all the things that are happening obviously around us and in the world and in our lives during this eclipse season. But the Eight of Swords is a self-imposed prison. It's a mental prison. This person is kind of stuck in all these swords in their mind and blindfolded, and this is like limiting beliefs, and it's like it's such an annoying card to pull because you're like, yeah, like I know it's in my head, but like, yeah, it's hard, Ace of Wands, following our passion and creativity and new passionate journeys, new ideas, things that make you excited. If you're maybe feeling super stuck right now and you're feeling like you can't move forward in like whatever eclipse season is putting you through, go do something you're passionate about. That might kind of help you get clarity. And I knew Judgment. I kept saying Judgment. I kept like seeing Judgment everywhere. Maybe because I pulled it for myself this morning. But Judgment is here again. And Judgment is graduation. It is ascension, up-leveling, whether you like it or not. It's Judgment Day. Graduation is here. And that's what eclipse season is. Eclipse season is destiny. Eclipse season is major change. It is up-leveling. It is graduation. Again, eclipses are just portals that put you where you need to be, whether you like it or not. And sometimes it's not fun. I'm going through a very not fun run right now. And I'm just barely holding it together. But I think we're all in this together, my friends. Like I said, everybody I know is kind of going through it. We're just all kind of waiting for the dust to settle. And, I think everyone is afraid to like move forward because, oh my God, like what was that? What was that craziness? All right, we're going to finally clarify with some oracle cards from the Lost Oracle. What else do we need to know? Ancestral Alchemy, Conjure Your Legacy. Oh, that's a cool one. Haven't pulled that one before. I'll read from the guidebook all the description of these cards. Hand of Fire, Stoke Your Inner Flame. That's definitely very Ace of Wands vibes. And Furnace, Take Action. I think that's when we're gonna know that it's time, right? Again, it's very Ace of Wands. Almost the same. I think we're gonna know when it's time to take action, when it's time to kind of do the thing. And the last card is Found, and it says trust what lies ahead. And that's one of my favorite cards in this deck because I constantly pull the Lost card, which is like, we don't know what's going on, and this is Found. This is, you know, trust what lies ahead. Trust that whatever you're going through this eclipse season is for your greater good. All right, we're gonna read these. So, Ancestral Alchemy. Ancestral alchemy witnesses moonlight meeting shadows as sacred transmissions between the living and the departed unfold. The veil is so thin during eclipse season, and also with Mabon coming up, the veil is going to be very thin. So ancestors and guides and deities are definitely coming through. The woman engages in a ritual to communicate with her ancestors, and she invites you to recognize the importance of acknowledging and venerating death. That's also what Mabon is a celebration of. In some cultures, death is seen as a grand adventure, a transition rather than an end. It is revered, respected, and integrated into the natural flow of existence. Ancestral alchemy serves as an invitation to walk alongside your ancestors, recognizing their influence and wisdom that echoes through time and through you. Engage in your own ritual of remembrance, speak to your ancestors, ask questions, offer them reverence. Yeah, I've definitely been doing a lot of that lately. Ancestral alchemy represents a sacred calling, a mystical and enchanting responsibility to spiritually safeguard the future of your bloodline. You may like to sanctify this calling with a ritual of your own creation. Trust that your intentions and the power of ancient magic will bring appropriate good fortune to your family's bloodline for generations to come. You know, call on your guides. I call on if you don't know, my dad is passed. I call on him all the time. He's actually right next to me. His ashes are like right next to me on my altar. When the going gets tough, you have support that you can't even see. And so you need to tap into that. All right, 18, Hand of Fire. Stoke your inner flame. Hand of Fire is a power symbol of transformation and passion. It represents the energy and drive that you possess to achieve your goals and make your desire reality. When you draw this card, it is a reassurance that you have the power to create the life you passionately desire, and that you should stoke your inner fire with confidence and let it light your path. Have you been neglecting your passions and holding back due to fear or self-doubt? The flames on the fingertips are a reminder to let go of inhibitions and allow your true desires to guide your choices and actions. Do those things you couldn't and stop doing the things that don't make you feel happy or feel authentically expressed. The Hand of Fire warns you to use your fire wisely and ethically. As your passion fires up, treat everyone with respect and support, even as your own light may eclipse theirs. The people you meet on the way up are also the people you meet on the way down. Everything good and bad has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Remember when great success and acclaim are achieved, to acknowledge all that helped you reach this place of exaltation. The Hand of Fire says to stay grounded and grateful. Remember, the fire on your fingertips is a gift. Use it wisely, harness its energy, and let it guide you towards a future filled with purpose, fulfillment, and the realizations of your dreams. And then you shall truly create positive change in your life and the world around you. And the last one is Furnace. Take action. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. When the furnace is drawn, it signifies that it is time for you to take action and let go of the things that are weighing you down and hindering your progress. Trust your intuition to determine what needs to be burned away from you for you to move forward on your path. It is important to approach the process of release with gentle mindfulness and not extreme anger or fear. Yep, as you release what no longer serves you, allow yourself to feel lighter and more free. You are transmuting in accordance with alchemical principles. The fire may be hot and uncomfortable at times, but the result will be worth it. Furnace says to trust the bonfire of your life and let it warm you as it unites you with your spiritual destiny. Embrace the dance of destruction and creation, for through the flames you emerge stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true path. Look, eclipse season feels like destruction and burning everything down to the ground, but it will be worth it. The last one is Found. Trust what lies ahead. In moments when life appears perplexing, this card appears to the weary heart and says that, like the ever-flowing river, the cycles of life hold mysteries that unfold under the surface. Trust that things are happening now that you do not have the conscious knowledge of, that you cannot see, but are waiting for you just around the turn of the river bend. This is like the message for eclipse season. Sometimes life seems complex and hard to understand. The intricate nature of your interactions, activities, and very being can feel exhausting and overwhelming. The complexities of a situation tighten their hold, creating a labyrinthian dance that challenges your clarity and direction. To unravel the complexity that surrounds you, step into the sacred waters of self-care within your home, sacred space, all that good stuff. Embrace the alchemy of desire, the passion of lust, and the warmth of love, for in their harmonious balance, a transformation begins. These energies, like a fertile soil, provide the nourishment needed for embarking on a journey of profound change. This is the moment to embrace the extraordinary and step into the richness of a life less than ordinary. Trust what lies ahead, my friends. Eclipses are just portals that put us where we need to be, and I do think we will get some clarity with this new moon solar eclipse in Virgo, but until then, I'm sending you all the good vibes. I know that it's rough right now. I will still have my yoga class for this new moon solar eclipse as well here on my channel. Thank you for being here with me. For my members, I'm trying my hardest to get back into it for October. Things in my world are still very uncertain, and I'm trying to figure it out. But we're still here. We're still trucking. Again, there's some really amazing things happening in my life as well. But it's just been chaos, and I know it's been chaos for all of us. And you know, when things are taken from your life or things kind of happen, just know it's for the greater good, even though I know it doesn't feel like it right now. We're on the right track, and this eclipse is just a gateway that is putting us where we need to be. I have to believe that, or else I would lose it. So thank you so much for being here with me. Let me know how you're feeling in the comments, what you're going through, because maybe it'll make us all feel a little bit better to know that we're not alone. But feel free to subscribe if you enjoy witchcraft, wellness, spooky stuff, tarot, yoga, all those things. I'll be here for every new moon and full moon posting tarot and yoga. That's all I have, my friends. I will see you next time.